to the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series at Trois-Rivieres, and the yellow flag is out once again, Billy. Looks like there's debris on the racetrack. That's more than debris. That looks like the entire hood of a car.
That certainly does. You need to get a little closer look, and it certainly looks like a complete hood. And there it is. It's off the 04 car.
Some problems solve themselves a little more easily than others. Pretty obvious. The other Dumoulin car, 04, has lost the hood, and that'll bring out a yellow for sure. And another double file restart. I love these two wide restarts.
Well, you want to see action. Put stock cars side by side on one of these little concrete jungles.
And there's the local favorite, Louis-Philippe Dumoulin, waving to the crowd. And they have a lot of supporters here in Trois-Rivieres, that's for sure, Billy.
Well, as I said early in the opening, these Quebec people know they're racing, and they come out in throngs to support it.
And we're looking at one of the Quebecers, Marie-Ève Dufault, now on board with Isabelle Tremblay in the 77. They both had their problems, but they're back on track. We've got Todd down in the pits. He's in the Mahindra Tractors pit stall with a report from pit road.
Tough end of the day for the 00 Mahindra Tractors Dodge of Pierre Bourque. He'd been running pretty well all day, trying to move his way forward in the field. You see some damage to the rear end, but it's a burned up rear gear that you can see the smoke from. And guys, we can sure smell it down here.
Wow, uncharacteristic. We usually run coolers on the rear end, and DJ Kennington prepares a real good automobile. Seen some damage on the rear bumper. They're working away here on the number 4 Home Hardware Chevrolet. And they've got a bent upper control arm.
Now, how would you bend an upper control arm? Has Don Thompson made a lot of contact? Have we seen him into anybody?
Well, these street circuits are hard for us to see all the angles. All you have to do is brush the fence on an outside apex or even into another car's door, and they're pretty fragile. Don't go away. We'll be back with more after this.
Welcome back to the NASCAR Canadian Tire Series here at Trois-Rivieres as we get set for restart number 2, Billy. They haven't had a lot of opportunities with it, but they're side by side, stacked up to the front. And you know there's a few of them that are hungry to gain some spots.
Well, it gets everybody closed back up. You know what? And they're going to be tight for a few laps now. Oh, look at this. Ranger down to the bottom right off the hop.
Andrew Ranger quick on the draw down into turn 1. Around Fitzpatrick and around Kerry Mix. Ranger goes by the front row.
Man, third to first in one corner. Andrew Ranger is on a mission.
J.R. Fitzpatrick falls back to third. Kerry Mix running in second right now. They can't be any too happy with that. But look at Jeff Lapsevich has moved up as well. We're on board. He looks to be in the 6th spot right behind DJ Kennington.
Kerry Mix has got to be wondering, where did that cat come from? I'm on the pole starting the race, and bang, I'm second.
J.R. Fitzpatrick back there in third, the car wiggling around under braking. Take a look at the front wheels on the Fitzpatrick 84. They look to be just black, Billy.
Well, that's a lot of brake usage. All the brake dust, these carbon brake metallics, all turn to dust as you use them, and it's just coated the rims and tires on the 84.
The top 2 cars running black wheels, but J.R. Fitzpatrick runs those chrome rims. They're beautiful on the 84 car, but you can really see the front wheels full of brake dust.
This is a great shot right there. You got to look at the back of the 27 car as he continues to put distance on Kerry Mix.
Let's have a look at the restart again. Boy, Ranger right away, all the way to the inside, the right side of the racetrack, and he's got him before they get to turn 1.
He was spot on. You can't pass till you get to the start-finish line. He timed it just right up through the gearbox, and he surprised them all going down the bottom.
Kerry Mix all over the back end of the number 27, uses up all the asphalt right out to the wall, but he doesn't touch it.
Well, you just got to remember back to the first race ever held here in the Fire Week works between these two on the final circuit.
It was something to remember. They still print it on the ticket when you come to Trois-Rivieres. That's the image you see, is one car on top of the other. And let me tell you, Kerry Mix is none too popular at this racetrack.
Well, race car drivers really don't worry about their popularity, because whether you're cheering or whether you're booing, you still bought the ticket to come watch us race.
Just 12 laps to go as we look at the Home Hardware leaderboard. Ranger still with that bodywork flapping on the number 27. Doesn't look to be going anywhere, Billy. It's just something to catch your eye as he's going by.
Well, I'm sure NASCAR's been keeping a close eye on it. There's 2 or 3 more braces right there to hold that body. It's not going anywhere.
Ranger leads the way down through the gates. J.R. Fitzpatrick now being challenged by Scott Stefani in the 22. So Fitzpatrick in jeopardy of losing the 3rd place spot.
On board with the Tim Hortons car, Lapsevich. Gary's still pumping that brake pedal down into the corner.
Man, the car noses down under brake, and they get on the brake, and what a difference in the view, even in the onboard. Jason Hathaway in the snap-on number 3 lost so many positions when he spun out there down into the corner. That's him behind Peter Clute in the 42 right now, trying to make back some of the spots that he lost. He wants to get back to the top 10.
The 27 still continues to drive away. The fight is going to be for second and third as this thing winds down.
Kerry Mix running on his own right now. Fitzpatrick a few car lengths back. The top 5 have spread themselves out just a little bit with their own racing room for the time being. The real battle a little bit further back. But anybody can still make a challenge and get up to the top. There's plenty of time left, Billy.
On board with Scott Steckley in the Canadian Tire number 22. He's got maybe 10, 11 car lengths up there to the 84, but he's just running his own race right now till this thing gets down to the short stroke.
Jeff Lapsevich by his lonesome, and then behind there, a great battle. Ron Beauchamp Jr. in 7th, but not for long. Siebert clears him going into the corner.
Trevor Siebert is a real good road racer, and he's really having a good outing here today.
Looks like Dumoulin right behind them. Jean-Francois, the 04. He wants to get around Ron Beauchamp as well. A great 3-car battle for the 7th spot.
Whoa, a little contact between the 84 and the 02 of Mix.
And you can see the back bumper of Mixie actually buckled in there. Just a fiberglass shell over top of the bumper, right, Billy?
Yeah, the steel part of the bumper is up about 8 or 9 inches from the bottom lip. So when you get into the bottom of it, it'll fold it right underneath before you get to the steel can.
The leaders down into turn 1, the Canadian Tire 22 of Scott Steckley. They're all chasing that 27 of Andrew Ranger as he's got a little bit of daylight. DJ Kennington doesn't look like he's going to get those bonus points unless something serious happens in front of him, Billy.
So when you don't get the bonus points, you got to keep your competitor right in sight, and that's what he's done. There's only one car between him and the 84 of Fitzpatrick.
Well, and it's typical of a DJ Kennington race. Looks like Mixie, they're going around. That's Marie-Eve Dufault they're putting a lap on. She stays up to the outside of the racetrack along the outside wall. She's running in the 20th spot right now. Not a bad job. She's getting seat time, Billy.
While staying out of trouble, getting some seat time in these big, heavy stock cars, it'll bode well for her down the road.
Kerry Mix down into the corners. J.R. Fitzpatrick using up a lot of racetrack. Looks like are they closing in on Ranger there? It's hard to tell with some of the angles.
Oh, I think the 27's driving away. He's only using what race car he needs right now. He had the bit in his teeth all day long getting back to the front. But right about now, the crew's got to be telling him to save the brakes, save the tires, keep that thing alive to the end.
Kerry Mix under braking down into turn 1. Fitzpatrick, Steckley, they're all just riding along further back. You can see they don't have that luxury. Wow, Dumoulin squeezes himself between the lap carbons and Ron Beauchamp Jr. as they battle for the 8th spot.
Dumoulin getting real aggressive on the back door of the 60 of Ron Beauchamp Jr.
Yeah, you couldn't get a whole lot closer than Dumoulin was to Beauchamp. We haven't mentioned Ron's name a whole lot, but having a good run in the top 10 right there.
Well, he stayed out of trouble all day long. Road courses aren't really his favorite, albeit he's run real well at most of them.
Jason Hathaway has fought his way back into the top 10. We were on board with him, and we could see the Dumoulin-Beauchamp battle. So Jason Hathaway gaining some spots right now as Fitzpatrick once again in the clutches of Scott Steckley's 22.
Well, the 84 went from real tight up with Kerry Mix. He's fallen all the way back to the 22, and looks like he's kind of wore the tires up. JR's been hard on the gas all day long, and now the 22 is taking a run at him.
5 laps to go, and Steckley looking to make that inside move down into turn 1. Fitzpatrick blocks the pass down on the bottom. Steckley has a poke to the outside, but that was probably just to get some racing room.
Absolutely. These two nose to tail heading down through the gates. This is going to get tight.
That's the battle for 3rd place. Remember, Andrew Ranger out in front. Oh, Marie-Eve Dufault. She's facing the wrong way. And by yeah, they've slowed down. The yellow flag is out. You never know on the road courses because they can have
local cautions for sure, Adam. But we're under full course caution with 5 laps to go. This will tighten things up.
It's definitely going to be a wild finish here at Trois-Rivieres.
Here we're going to look at the replay down into the corner. Oh, the 3 Rockstar machine dives down the bottom and clips the 10, and around she goes.
Marie-Eve Dufault backwards on the racetrack, and that was a gaggle of cars. Did a great job of avoiding her.
Mark Gilly was in the worst spot. He was all the way out in the gray where all the bad rubber is, and he kept it out of the tires.
And that's right where DJ Kennington wrecked in qualifying. You get up in that loose stuff, it's easy to spin it around. We're going to see some more racing right on the other side from Trois-Rivieres.